What up, everybody? Johnny Ward here with another episode of the Nerdyverse of Madness. This week I have a very special episode. It is an interview with my friend Jaydn Turner. Been friends with him for almost 20 years, as we discuss in the episode. He doesn't really have anything going on. He's not a creator, and I usually highlight creators. However, he is a huge board game nerd, and that is what we're talking about today. He's also my biggest fan. I gave him a shout out at the end of my SS Goshen 4 episode. We talk. He's my biggest fan, and he listens to every episode, gives me great feedback, and it just means the world to me. So I wanted to have him on. He was like, "I'd love to be on." I was like, "Oh, okay, fine, get on." So we talk board games, and he gives me some great insights. Like we talk about him starting a blog. I actually made him a Facebook page, so go follow Without Controllers on Facebook. I'll include the link in the show notes. And he hasn't posted anything yet. I don't even think he's accepted the invite to be admin, but I made it for him, so he had no excuses. Now he's going to come up with excuses on accepting the adminship. So let's give him hell. I'm just kidding. Anyways, was a really fun one. I love talking to Jaydn every time we have a conversation, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it.
Interest in nerddom is at an all-time high. Where once we hid in our parents' basements, everyone is stepping out into the light and embracing fandoms with a newfound vigor. One man hopes to gather and speak with them all. This is the place where all fans can come and discuss the things they love, the things they hate, and maybe, just maybe, discover something new to devote all their time to. Welcome to the Nerd Podcast to rule them all. Prepare to fall into the Nerdyverse of Madness.
Hi, everybody. Johnny Ward here for another episode of the Nerdyverse of Madness with my biggest fan, Jaydn Turner. He is the most cutest, adorable little munchkin. If you could see him right now, you'd be so happy. You just want to pinch his cheeks and poke his belly. But I'm so glad to have him here. Hi, Jaydn.
How's it going, Johnny?
Pretty good. Ashley says hi.
I love Ashley.
I know, I do too. Um, so I have been friends with Jaydn. I was just thinking about it while I was taking a leak up there. We've been friends for like 20 years. Because you're what, like 14 in grade 10? I met you in grade 10.
Something like that.
It makes me feel old.
It's been
Oh, it's been a very long time. So today we are going to talk about board games because I don't really play a lot of like the hardcore board games, and Jaydn is the person who is always peer pressuring everyone to play board games. So let's just kind of. The first introduction I actually ever had to any kind of advanced board game was some zombie game you had at your house. And we had spent all morning playing Pokemon Monopoly, you, me, and Ashley, and I believe somebody else after like your birthday party or something. And then there is a zombie board game, and it had like 100 pieces of little zombies. And then we started pulling it out, and then we were too hungover to read the rules, and we went back to Monopoly.
it's literally called like zombies and like five exclamation points. It's uh yeah, a Twilight Creations game.
Okay, okay. So how did you like get into board games? Because I feel you were asking me about how to get into Dungeons and Dragons for a little bit there, and I don't really remember your hardcore love for board games before that, but I could be wrong. Like what was your foray? Start from the beginning.
Like the very beginning?
Sure, let's start from the very beginning. We got time.
Yeah, so I've always been in and out of board games, or at least board game adjacent kind of hobbies. Uh, I played Hero Clicks when it first came out, like the very
Okay.
first set. I can't even remember how old I was then. I was, but mostly that's something I'd play with my dad.
Okay. I feel that was like really hot in like 97, 98, maybe a little later.
Yeah, it was pretty early. Uh, I always loved playing card games. I mean, when I was that young, it was simple games like War, Go Fish. I remember after the Lord of the Rings movies came out, I had like a special tin with a deck that was good guys and a deck that was bad guys. And I remember designing my own take on War. It probably was probably just War, but
Yeah.
but I mean, I drew my own playmat and I made a little game out of the Lord of the Rings cards. Uh, it was I didn't really get hardcore into board games until the pandemic.
Okay.
It was surprisingly enough a coworker of mine who, when I worked at Kips Lane, the building on Kips Lane, I actually really don't like that guy, but I'm glad he got me kind of into. I went over and I played a game of Carcassonne, and I remember having a bit of trouble understanding it, but I was like, wow, that was kind of fun. And then I went over and like most board gamers, he busted out a game of Catan, and I
Okay.
thought this is absolutely brilliant.
Okay. I've
And
never
I
I've
got
never
into,
played Catan.
I still really like it, but it's definitely like most people's kind of hook into the hobby, and it dug its claws in me for sure. And then around that time, the pandemic was happening, and there was me, my wife, and my stepson at home, and I didn't know. It was kind of one of those things like, well, I don't want to just sit in front of a TV.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a good kind of family hobby to make sure we were socializing around the table and hanging out and learning new things.
Okay. And what was like the first game you purchased for you guys? Was it Catan?
No, I remember this was even before I got into the board games there. I kickstarted a copy of the Binding of Isaac Four Souls card game when I lived on Nelson Street before I moved into Kips Lane, just because we were a big fan of the video game, and I'm a big fan of Edmund McMillan. He does. So I guess technically that would have been my first big board game purchase.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I had a buddy who is really into Kickstarter video games, and I feel like I've heard you say that you've backed quite a few.
I have.
Is there just something about the indie game makers that are kickstarting that they just have like a little bit of flavor you're not getting from the mass produced?
No, I like a good mix of them actually because I'm not a big part of Kickstarter is that like I don't need a game that has a million miniatures and comes with 100 expansion boxes before you've even played the base game.
Okay,
But
yeah.
there is a lot of cool indie stuff going on Kickstarter as well. Like I just backed an expansion to a project from a two-player game from actually a couple guys in Toronto
Okay.
made a two-player game that me and Kashmir enjoy. I think they're previous Magic the Gathering champions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, Wizards of the Grimoire.
Let's look remote. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you are, like I said, a big advocate for board games, and I mean, I haven't really gotten too many of the fancy ones, but I did uh kind of based on your suggestion grabbed Shadowed Kingdom, that Disney one. It's a two-player card game and it's cooperative. Cooperative ones are always beneficial, and I've had a lot of fun with that. I forget who makes it, but you're familiar with the creator.
Ravensburger, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, and I just grabbed that one from Dollarama that you've apparently been hunting for, Key to the Kingdom. Tell me about
Yeah,
that.
Restoration Games is fantastic. So it kind of takes like board games from your dad's era of growing up, kind of, and takes them and remakes them and reshapes them into modern board games for who that people would enjoy now. Because apparently, like in the hobby as a whole, like people have moved away from things like Roll to Move or games that pretty much play themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
They like a little bit more agency, and it's cool that they're remaking those old games. Like if you busted it out, maybe your dad would sit down and be like, "Oh my god, I remember playing that like when I was a kid."
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the only other one is you can see over my shoulder the Scream, which I had to get. I was on the fence about it for a little bit because I knew it was mostly going to kind of sit on the shelf, but we did play it. We did a couple rounds. It's fucking fast paced. It's really fast and it's kind of hard to keep up with it, but we actually enjoyed it quite a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of real time, isn't it? I haven't played it yet, but I know it's done through an app on the phone.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's real time. And we played like the mild version. There's one that's apparently even harder, and it can last up to like 20 minutes, and I'd say by like 10 minutes we're done. I think once we get like play through a few more times, we get the roll through like of just like constantly moving. Like you got to keep it going, 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 but it's fun. I'm glad you showed me that one.
I like the little stand, the little knife piece.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's sweet. And the fact that Roger Jackson did the voice for the app is just
Fantastic.
yeah, it's great. He's the best. So what are some of your favorite board games? To anyone listening to this, like maybe we can start with some kind of cheaper, easier, just the tip foray into the into the gaming world, and then kind of move a little more and tell us what you like about them, why they're some of your favorites. What do you got?
Yeah, one of my favorite games is like a two-player game called Shobu. Uh,
Shobu.
yeah, it's kind of like if a long forgotten game from a long time. It feels like a long forgotten game from a long time ago, but it was made in modern times. But it's one of those games that if I had a garden, I would have set up on like a little sit down area, kind of like chess in the park. Uh, you play on four wooden boards, and you have a set of black stones and or a set of white stones. And when you move on one board, you have to mirror it on another board.
Okay.
And the goal of the game is to eliminate all of someone else's stones on one board.
Huh.
So it just blows my mind that this game was made today that feels like it's a game picked up from like some ancient Asian country.
Yeah, like some sort of mystical Chinese checkers.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I always that's one of my favorites for sure. Another favorite of mine is a really famous board game designer from Germany named Rainer Knizia.
Okay.
It has a game called Samurai. This one's a little tougher to get, but I'm sure it'll be remade or reprinted at some point. Uh, like another abstract strategy game where you have different pieces that you lay out, different tiles, and you're trying to surround and get food, military, or I can't remember the third one off the top of my head right now, but you compete putting tiles around and trying to have enough points to take the thing in the middle. And
Okay.
as you're collecting them, whoever has the most of them at the end gets the tile for having one of those three majorities. I don't think I explained that quite right,
No,
but it's
no.
fantastic.
No, that's good enough. I mean, I have trouble understanding how to play these games when I'm reading the rules right in front of me. So, no, no, that was pretty good. And you said it's a little harder to get.
Yeah, currently out of print, but I mean, you never know if you're wandering around or looking on the Facebook Marketplace. I have the Fantasy Flight Euro Classics version, but Rio Grande was the first company to print it. You can find it on the Facebook Marketplace or somewhere, but I'm sure it will come back into print.
Yeah, that's a wild place sometimes, eh?
I found some incredible deals just keeping an eye on that and following it as often as I do.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, some of the social interactions you screenshotted and sent our way. But I mean, that could be just the fact that it's London, Ontario, as opposed to the board game community. So
Exactly.
now, are there any memorable moments you have playing? I'm sure there are playing board games that you're always going to remember.
Maybe not necessarily just from playing a board game, but I'm a big fan of a company called Stonemeyer, and they made a game called Wingspan about birds.
Okay.
And I got this board game pretty early on in the collecting career, and just I everything I saw about it said it was amazing. It was a board game feature on like home and garden television, which was very strange.
Yeah.
Uh, but I sat down and played it, and my it has like little facts on the cards about the birds. So my stepson got really into reading those bird facts, and it's kind of what kicked off his love for birding.
Oh,
So I
okay.
have this 13-year-old kid that has a set of binoculars and like has the hobby of an 80-year-old grandmother
Yeah. Yeah,
because
no, that's
because of this board game that kicked off his interest for birds.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I mean, I think instilling a respect or an interest in any aspect of nature in children is extremely important. And even though it's a hobby most associated with 80-year-old seniors, that's wonderful. I'm actually going to suggest this game to one of my coworkers because he loves birds.
He would love it. It's actually a really good game.
Okay. And are you familiar with Effin Birds? He's like an internet artist online.
No.
Oh, I'm gonna send you some stuff. I can't even begin to iterate it, but he just takes like these kind of tacky pictures of birds and then puts like funny captions to them, and then he makes cards and mugs and like the typical kind of Etsy stuff. But he's gotten like so big that he's like at Fan Expo every year, and it's some funny shit. It really
Oh,
is.
wow.
Yeah, I'll definitely hit you up with the link for that. Now, are you seeing an evolution in board games? I mean, I know there is one, but I mean, we've come a long way since chess, even though I probably play chess at least once a week. That's the board game I'm always playing. But what kind of changes are you seeing within the landscape? I mean, obviously with Scream, there's games that are involved have apps involved. I'm sure it's not the only one, but I mean, if you consider us playing Monopoly as kids, it's come a long way.
Yeah, I'm this is kind of a hard one to answer because relatively speaking, I'm still pretty new to the hobby.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, I've been doing it now for 5 years, but in the total span of board games, I mean, doesn't feel like very long, but I am noticing a huge surge in creativity. Like for some reason, they just games just keep on getting better and better. Like the amount of people coming out and just creating out of nowhere these absolutely memorable experiences and like the thousands of games that come out a year. It's just even from when I started, just from the 5 years till now, I can't believe what people are putting out and just how much of it comes out.
Yeah. There's this little shop. If you ever come out this way, I'm going to take you to it because every time I'm in it now, I think of you. It's called Sir Games a Lot. And it's in this little rinky-dink rundown mall, one of those malls that you're like, how the heck is this even like a Westmount mall kind of thing? Like, how is this even still open type of deal? And I go there. I went there frequently when I was really into D&D because he's got all the miniatures, all the kind of model paints, all Pathfinder stuff books. And the guy who introduced me into Dungeons and Dragons, he actually used to play D&D with Sir Games. And I think every Thursday or every other Thursday they still have D&D nights. But this store is like huge and it's just pretty much like they have like little collectible sections of like Funko Pops and action figures, but for the most part, it's like wall to wall board games. And you can't, you walk in there and you can't even begin to know, or rather, you don't know where to start because there's just like, it's overwhelming. I heard him talking about an Alien versus Predator game where you can be the xenomorphs or the predators or the Marines, and that sounded pretty cool, but it's just such a wicked shop.
Nice. I would love to check that out.
Yeah, and there's also a store within like a 10-minute drive of my house. It's called Freaky Wizard. And they you can go in there. Now, the way they've grown from when we first went in there, it was just like they had like a couple shelves. They didn't have a liquor license. They had like you could get a coffee, but now they've expanded. They have an escape room, like a Harry Potter themed escape room in the back. They have just tons of shelves, and you can go in there. You can spend like $5, order meals, play games. You pay a cover fee. You can bring your own food in there. You can rent board games from there, and it's a really cool place. You should come in. Well, I'll take you there too.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, I think ours here is like, man, Barrie has the coolest board game store names. We have like Saga Board Game Cafe and the Game Chamber. You have like Sir Games a Lot and Freaky Wizards.
Yeah, yeah. There's another one called OMG Games, but they're more like trading card games. And I don't know if I'm gonna regret saying this because it is a very small net community, but I fucking hate that store. I hate it. You go in there and there's just this neckbeard guy who looks at you like, why the hell are you in my store? It's just awful. It's awful.
No, I'll call it out. I feel that way about one of the stores here in London, and it sucks because I absolutely love the people who own it, but I will never spend another cent or step into LA Moods ever again.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah,
Um,
they're just too many instances where the people need to learn how to like. I understand being socially awkward, but there's a difference between being socially awkward and just being plain rude.
yeah. So I mean, you have a few. LA Mood has a lot. They were mainly a comic book store. Have they kind of moved more towards board games, or well balanced?
Actually, funny enough, yeah, they do a lot of board games and still some comics, but they do a lot of like vinyl record sales now.
Really?
Yeah, and they have
Okay.
some great selection. So it's
Okay. So, does London have a pretty like thriving board game community? Are there any events? Do you like meet up with people and play board games? I know you, like myself, aren't the most social, but
Yeah, for myself, it's mostly a family thing. I actually have a London board game group. We've been talking recently about trying to set something up, but my job kind of doesn't allow me to get out as much as I'd like to,
yeah.
being on call as often as I mean, I have my work phone here waiting just in case I get a phone call. And my weekends are Wednesday and Thursday, which typically
Yeah.
doesn't work out well, but I'm looking to branch out and do more. But I love gaming with the family, and dad typically comes over once a week and joins us. And
Okay. Um,
yeah.
now, do you do you think it's best that people like go and support their local community, like friendly local gaming store and buy from them, even though, I mean, it's significantly cheaper to buy on Amazon, obviously.
Oddly enough, for a lot of board game stuff, it's not cheaper, but there's like you said, I don't want to get in too much trouble, like because it is a small knit community. I really love what the Game Chamber is doing. They have a great play area, and they're super great at customer service, but their game prices are a little overboard.
Yeah, we start games a lot, and I think he's great. I actually really like the owner quite a bit, but I have heard that his prices can run a little bit steeper than I don't know. I mean, you could go down to the city and get it a bit cheaper, but I guess you pay more for the convenience of it. And that brings me to 401 games. You actually mentioned that randomly in our game or our group chat rather. And
I buy a lot from 401 games online. I love 401 games.
yeah, I love that store. I've been to both of their locations. They have one that's like half an hour away from me in Vaughan, and then they have the one that was first opened up in Toronto. And I've used it more for D&D and trading card games and stuff, but they're amazing.
I would consider them local.
Yeah, yeah, I
They're
guess.
definitely a Canadian store.
Yeah, yeah. And I imagine shipping isn't too terrible for you. I've always done.
Always $10 flat.
Oh, that's great. That's
No
great.
matter what I order, always $10 flat.
Okay. Now, if we stray away from that a little bit, I'm going to think about some of the times that I've played Monopoly and I've hit up like house rules. And I've heard a lot of people say Monopoly goes on forever, but if you play Monopoly like by the rules, it doesn't. So like what are your opinion on house rules? Do you do any custom stuff? Anything like that?
I need to learn to be a little bit more relaxed and maybe do some custom rules because I am a stickler for that rule book.
Okay.
It's like, no, this is what it says, so that's how we got to play it. And but it's fun. I see a lot of people who like. I just recently ordered a game actually from South Korea. They did a Pokemon version of a game called Splendor, and
Okay.
it's fantastic. And someone already made like a fan made expansion where they have all of the gym leaders
Oh, okay.
and they use the artwork like from the old red and blue video games, and it looks fantastic. And it was like, oh, maybe I need to get over my not adding fan stuff or house rules and like print those out on the tiles because they look awesome.
Yeah, our mutual friend Forrest, I remember he used to print Digimon cards, like the old trading card game, and I was even back then I was such a stickler for like actual like physical media, and it felt like cheating. But when I look back on it now, I mean, like, first of all, you're a kid. You want to play different rules and try different strategies and stuff. And it's not like we were playing like real competitions or anything like that.
Yeah, there wasn't any money on the line or anything.
Yeah. And I think with D&D, I guess it is a little different because I mean the rules are kind of more suggestions than anything, and there's some amazing fan-made open source stuff. Like some of the Lord of the fifth edition Lord of the Rings content from I believe it's Kobold Press is really good.
Yeah, I'm always seeing projects on Kickstarter for people making RPGs based off of fifth edition rules. And
Yeah, there's some really great content, even online. I think it's called Adventurers Guild. It's almost like just like an Etsy for people who make D&D adventures expansions. There's so much free content on there. I actually found a little one shot for two people, so I'm going to use it to get Ethan into it a little bit.
oh, very cool.
You didn't get too deep into D&D, am I correct?
I have tried a couple times. Uh, Actually, me and my kid just started. I can't like it's not a campaign. It's done by a game by game basis. But my first like actual tabletop RPG that I've invested time into. The bass player of my favorite band actually has an RPG company called World Champ Game Co. Or I'm saying that backwards, but he runs a little indie RPG company, and he put out a Kickstarter for a horror game called The Night They Came Home, kind of based off the old like 1978 Halloween.
Oh, nice.
So it's a tabletop RPG about like one person is the killer and one person is the final guy or the final girl, and you have the showdown at like the old house.
Oh, that's
Uh,
wicked. Have you told us
yeah,
about that in the group chat? That sounds vaguely familiar.
I think I might have.
Or is there a Halloween game, like a licensed Halloween game coming out?
There was two licensed Halloween games, and I got them both because I'm a Halloween freak.
I love me some Halloween.
I got one based off of the original and one off of Halloween 2. So if you play them in a row, you can almost play it like the movie and the sequel, even though they're not related or the same company at all.
Oh, nice, nice. Um,
But yeah, that's my only foray into like role playing. And we haven't gotten through all of it yet because for some reason I find it so hard to wrap my head around because it's kind of like you're completely in control of almost everything.
yeah, it it's having a balanced game master is it's being a game master is really a skill, and some game masters are so focused on the story they want to tell. And I know this goes for all tabletop games, not just D&D, even though that's where most of my experience lies. But D game masters are so focused on the story they want to tell, they don't really often take consideration into what other players are interested. I mean, with D&D, there's people who just want to role play and act, and then they roll dice to do combat. But then there's players who want to balance out their stats and make the ultimate video game character and just kill stuff in combat. Then there's people who want to play puzzle, figure out puzzles, and do dungeon trials and stuff. And a good dungeon master will be able to kind of balance that all. But unfortunately, most dungeon masters, or rather game masters, haven't really learned how to do that.
I used to watch a video game creator on YouTube where he did video game content, but he also liked D&D. And I don't know how true this is, but one of the things he said was a good dungeon master or game master is one who won't tell you no. They will always find a way to make the scenario happen or come up for the stats behind it. It should be fun and it should be able to go mostly wherever your imagination can take you.
A good game master will, I would say, within reason, because
Yes, of course.
I've heard some players. Um, I the first group I like. Well, actually, the first the first time I ever played Dungeons and Dragons, it was probably like I think it was grade 10. And I played with a mutual friend of ours' older brother and his friends. Um, we have a nickname for him after a humpbacked animal. I'll just leave it at that. And I try and be more respectful in my old age, but I don't think they got outside a lot.
I
And
hear you.
it was just a very, very uncomfortable, weird experience. And they were really heavy into role playing and doing hand gestures and stuff like that, which is cool. But after that time, I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna play this again. And then my buddy Jamie, who I worked with for a while, he got me into it, and he ran a much better table. And
I hear
that's
that. There's certain groups I remember because I remember playing Hero Clicks when it first came out, and I also had a little stint with it later. And man, I'll come right out and say it. The London community fucking sucked. What a bunch of losers. I don't even have to. I don't. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I had people like I smash their hands on the table and like make a noise like, and it's like, what are you doing? Like we're all grown men playing with like action figures here. Like there's no need to take this so seriously. Like I'm a geek and I'm not, but man, if you're gonna pull that with me, like I will drag you across this table. I'm not putting up with this shit. I'm an adult. Act your age. It's a game.
Uh, to be fair, I mean, there could be some of those same people because it was in London. It wouldn't surprise me. They probably throw their controllers across the room if they get killed in PUBG,
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So we're kind of running a little lower on the time here. Are there any board gaming? Do you have any board game plans or projects that you're super excited about? Releases coming out, something you've ordered that hasn't come to you? Tell me all the things.
It's happening inside. Like it's gonna come out eventually. I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to get into the board game space and start writing and doing some reviews of my own. Uh, it's just it's going to come out eventually. I think about it almost on a daily basis, and I just have to figure out how to get something started because I just want to scream about board games and have someone listen to me. I've started to view board games as any other media like movies or music. It's like you might not think you like games, but there is a game for you. There is a game for everybody, you know?
Yeah, man, just start. I'm telling you, if you sit there and think and think and think about the best way to get out and start screaming about it, you're never gonna fucking do it. I mean, I was planning this podcast for ages, and then I recorded like 4 or 5 episodes, and I got so focused on how crappy it sounded. To be fair, it did sound garbage. The mic that I bought was was terrible. But just start. Like me, it's so easy to make a Facebook page. Just Jaydn, you don't even have to have a good name, just Jaydn's board game reviews
That's the
and
thing.
start.
I do have a good name. I
You do have a good name? What is it?
have a great name without controllers.
Dude, after we get off the phone, you're sitting in your little downstairs, whatever, in the building. Before you go up there, go make a page on Facebook. It'll take you like 10 seconds.
Exactly, exactly.
Make it and then just write it. I mean, how you make Facebook posts? I mean, the entire month of October, you write a lengthy movie review every single day in October, well, for 2 years, 3 years now.
2 years, yeah.
2 years. The time it takes you to do that, you could make little posts. You could spend an hour, make a few posts like that, and schedule them. You don't have to be on Facebook all the time. You can use Meta Business Suite and schedule all those posts. You could make 4 or 5 in downtime, like or sitting there on
Exactly.
call. Just do it. I would
I love
listen. I would listen to you. You don't have any page now, and I'm talking to you about board games. You're my authority for board games. You could be tons of people.
I hope so. That is the goal to get there because I love the community so much. I love what it's done for my family and spending time together. And I've had many hobbies and many interests throughout my life, but this is the one that's really just gripped me.
Yeah.
And I still feel the same excitement now, 5, 6 years later, as I did on day one. It hasn't like slowed down or kind of faded away. It's just if anything, it's like I do twice as much research. I'm looking up board games all the time. Before I came on to do this podcast, I just saw no say Board Game Bliss had new inventory in, and I was like, oh, before we start, I need to see what's out right now and and do a little look. And yeah, it's consumed my life.
Okay, well do it. Share that knowledge. I would check every post. I would share every post. And yeah, no.
Thanks.
I know you're resistant to Instagram, but honestly, getting anything across in Instagram in this day and age is, I mean, you should go do it on Facebook. It's lengthy
I'm not
reviews.
resistant. I just need to change my socials because I have a bunch of crap in my emails and I hate how full they are. And when I put myself out there, I want an email that doesn't like put my name out there and my birth date and everything like that. People don't need to know that about me. So I need to stop being lazy, make my new emails and then like push it forward.
Without controllers at gmail.com. I could make this before I end that call.
Exactly.
Go do it.
Exactly.
Do it. Do it. I'm telling you, do it.
I do need to do it.
All right. So, are there any games coming out that you're really excited for that we should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I don't know mechanically how the game is going to be, but I just heard about a game coming out called Pixie or Pixies, and it's like this one is one I'm gonna buy based solely off of artwork. It's a guy who goes on hikes and makes little sculptures out of what he finds. So like little rocks and little acorns, and he makes like little weird kind of fantasy looking pictures out of them. And this whole card game is based off of pictures of his little sculptures he makes when he goes hiking.
Okay.
That grabbed my attention. It just looks beautiful. I don't know how it's gonna play, but it's just gonna be a little card game. So for 15-20 bucks, even just to have as an art piece, I'm definitely gonna put that in the collection.
Okay. That sounds good. I've written down like so much stuff, so definitely. Is that a Kickstarter or?
No, I believe this one will be just coming to retail.
Okay. Okay, cool.
And I have a few Kickstarters coming down the pipeline. I actually, within the last few months, have gotten an influx of a bunch of them finally arriving. But I have an expansion to a game I like coming in September that's kind of based off of like old 30s like cartoon artwork.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know if you've ever heard of like Cuphead.
yeah, no, me and my kid play the game on Switch.
Yeah, so it's very much so that art style and kind
Like
of it's
Steamboat
also a
Willie
mosh.
and
Exactly.
okay. Okay.
So I'm excited for that to come in I believe around September. Still a little far away, but
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts that you'd like to share? This is usually where I say, "Hey, where can I find you?" And by the time this comes out, you could probably find him on Without Controllers on Facebook. But any final thoughts you'd like to throw out to the end of this?
Yeah, like I said, if you think maybe oh you played Monopoly and Uno when you weren't a big fan of it and you think because of that board gaming isn't for you, I highly recommend taking a look and investigating a little further because board games have come a long way since then, and I promise you, there's a replacement for all of it. If you liked Scrabble but not how lucky it was, you can find something like it with a little bit more agency and decision space. And I promise you, if you look hard enough, there's a game for you.
Okay. Yeah, you are a big proponent for that, and I would like to thank you for championing me towards board games a little bit. Me and the kid are probably gonna play Key to the Kingdom. It might be a little convoluted for Ashley at this time because she's got baby brain, but I'll probably check it out tomorrow.
It's worth it, I think. I haven't played it, but it's supposed to be a great family game.
Okay, cool. Well, I would like to thank you so much for coming on today. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Jaydn. You're one of my favorites. Um,
Thank you.
and I'd love to have you on again, and we can talk about your board game blog.
I would love to do that.
Okay, we will. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jaydn, and I'll talk to you later.
I love you, Johnny.
Love you too. All right, bye.
Bye.
And there you have it, guys. My interview with board game connoisseur Jaydn Turner, who also happens to be one of my best friends. Please don't mind my voice at the time of recording this. I woke up with a cold. Now, Jaydn hasn't quite started his venture into blogging and sharing his passion of board games, but I started him up a Facebook page, which I am going to link in the show notes. You should go give him a follow and let him know that you care to hear what he has to say. I think he just needs a little push in the confidence, and once he hears that a bunch of people actually give a shit what his dumb ass has to say, he might keep it going, because this was such a fun one. He gave me great insights into board games. I really loved hearing about his son and his passion for birds. Like, that's what I love about, I mean, not just board games, I mean all kind of fandoms, no matter what it be. It really brings people together, expands our interests, and that's what I love about it, and that's why I'm doing this show. I want people to expand on all of that. And what I mean by all of that is just newfound interests expanded on from other interests and so on and so forth. So go give him a follow. As for me, you can find me at www.thenerdyverseofmadness.ca. That's my website and blog. All the socials are up there, but I'm also going to link them all separately this time. As for this, please subscribe to me wherever you listen to podcasts. It really boosts visibility and the more people who listen, the more opportunities I have to bring great things to the show and continue doing this because I'm actually really enjoying it. Well, I feel like crap. That's it for me. Till next time, peace.
That is all for today, but what kind of discussions will the one and only Jonny Ward get himself into next time? Will he discover a new collection to spend all his money on, or something to read for the next year and get depressed when it's done? Find out next time on the Nerdyverse of Madness.